2064 Old Detroit, New Anarchy. M, the clone of Kurrupted Guru, collapsed in a pile of sweat beside Kylie, the clone of celebrity Demi Lovato. His chest heaved, but a gentle smile touched his lips as he met her gaze. "I love you so much," M breathed. Kylie let out a soft sigh, a mixture of contentment and quiet contemplation in her expression. "You know," M continued, his smile fading slightly as a familiar frustration tightened his jaw. "The craziest thing about this is I would have never thought Skinny would step on my toes like that." He was referring to the clone of Justin Bieber, who had recently fleeced him for $300. Kylie scoffed. "Yeah, I'm frankly getting sick and tired of people in the same family messing people over. It's getting ridiculous, man. We're all part of the clown family. We all represent the loyal Joker family, the clown cult of corrupted clown." And pushed himself up, his eyes hardening with resolve. "All I know, boo, is I'm going back for that today. I'm getting my $300 back, regardless if he's my homie or not." He swung his legs off the side of the bed, his feet thudding onto the hardwood floor. A steady crack echoed as he rolled his neck, then pulled on his boxers and slid into his pants. From the dresser, he snagged his Glock, tucking it into his waistband before heading into the living room. There, 12-year-old Selena Gonzalez, the clone of Victoria Justice, was sprawled on the couch, mesmerized by SpongeBob SquarePants. "What's up, Daddy?" she chirped, a wide smile on her face. A half-eaten bowl of Cheerios balanced precariously. A side bowl of Skittles and a big root beer sat next to it. M's brow furrowed in amusement. "Girl, what in the heck are you eating?" Selena giggled, reaching for a Snickers. "Oh, you know, the typical crazy tea. You know how I be." 20 minutes later, M sat parked outside Skinny's house, observing the scene. Skinny was on the porch, flanked by 4 incredibly attractive African-American women. M watched, his mind drifting, contemplating the peculiar landscape of New Anarchy. America had fractured in 2030, forming 13 states of New Anarchy, all of Texas, the Dakotas, Oklahoma, Miami, Florida, Detroit, Michigan, Chicago, Illinois, Arkansas, Alabama, Ohio, Oregon, Denver, and Alaska. Within these borders, all crime was legal. Just beyond the fences lay the USA, a realm policed by RoboCops, where every citizen bore the mark of the beast on their right hand or forehead. Anarchists couldn't cross into the USA, but U.S. citizens could freely enter New Anarchy for fun. Back to the mission. M's gun was no ordinary firearm. It was magical, with an unlimited supply of bullets. These weren't lethal, but they inflicted severe pain and, more importantly, purged demons. It was painfully clear now Skinny was possessed. M stepped out of his car, the magical gun feeling cool in his grip. 5 glowing orbs erupted from the barrel, streaking toward the house. Skinny recoiled as the energy balls slammed into his chest. With a guttural roar, a towering shadow demon ripped itself from Skinny's back, twisting violently to the left, narrowly missing a return blast from M. M dove behind the hood of his car, firing 3 more shots, not at Skinny, but directly at the dissipating darkness. The demon shrieked, writhing in excruciating blood-curdling sound that seemed to tear the very air, tear streaming down his face as the 3 remaining women rushed to help him to his feet and guide him inside. "That's for taking my $300, bro. Loyal Joker for life," and bellowed, his voice echoing in the quiet street. From the porch, a pained but clear voice echoed back, "Loyal Joker for life." And with that, both went their separate ways, peace restored, for now. Part 2, The Clown Cult's Call. The lingering scent of spent magic bullets hung in the air as M drove away from Skinny's house. The setting sun casting long, distorted shadows across the decaying cityscape of old Detroit. He'd gotten his $300 back, and the demon was gone. But the thrill of the confrontation was already fading, replaced by the low hum of an approaching problem. He knew the drill. After a significant demon purging, the clown cult of corrupted clown usually made contact. Sure enough, his wrist buzzed. A distorted, literal voice crackled through the tiny speaker. The ritual approaches. Bring the offering. Inside, running a hand over his tired face, understood. The usual place. The usual place, the voice affirmed, then cut out. The offering wasn't money. It was rare, potent. He drove past crumbling skyscrapers adorned with neon graffiti, their broken windows reflecting the chaos of new anarchy. Every street was a testament to the freedom and depravity that reigned here. As he pulled up to his dilapidated apartment building, the familiar chaos greeted him. Selena was now attempting to teach Kylie how to moonwalk in the living room, nearly tripping over a pile of empty cereal boxes. "Daddy, you're back," Selena squealed, abandoning her dance lesson. "Am you all right?" Kylie asked, her eyes scanning him for any signs of trouble. "Just another Tuesday," Em grunted, heading straight for his room. "Selena, get ready. We've got a cult meeting." Selena's eyes lit up. "Can I bring my magical slingshot?" "No," Em said firmly, then softened slightly. "Not this time. It's serious business." Later that night, the humid air of old Detroit clung to them as Kylie and Selena navigated the labyrinthine back alleys toward the clown Coliseum, a derelict sports arena now repurposed for the cult's ritual. The arena's broken facade was illuminated by flickering neon signs advertising forgotten brands, casting grotesque shadows that danced with the occasional street fire. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of incense, stale beer, and something else, something metallic and primal. Hundreds of loyal jokers were already gathered, their faces painted in various clown motifs, some wearing tattered suits, others just scraps of cloth. They chanted in low, rhythmic tones, their voices echoing off the crumbling walls. Em spotted him near the center of the arena. Elevated on a makeshift stage, kurrupted Guru, his own, clone but older, scarred, and undeniably the cult's leader. He held a glowing, pulsating orb in his hand, its light casting an eerie glow on his painted face. "Em, you have returned," the Guru's voice boomed, amplified by crude speakers. His eyes, though identical to Em's, held a chilling, ancient wisdom. "And with you, the offering." Em pushed forward, Kylie and Selena close behind, the crowd parting for them. He reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a small, obsidian-like shard. It pulsed faintly, radiating cold energy. This wasn't just any offering. It was a fragment of a pure demon shard, said to contain dormant power from the primordial chaos. The fragment is pure and stated, placing it onto a velvet cushion offered by a cloaked cultist. The Guru nodded, his gaze intense. "Excellent. The merging ritual can commence. This fragment, combined with our collective chaotic energy, will truly awaken the unholy union." His voice rose to a fever pitch, and the crowd roared in response. The air crackled, and the ground began to tremble. Em felt a familiar unease. The cult's rituals were always unpredictable, but this felt different, more volatile. He instinctively pulled Kylie and Selena closer, his hand subtly resting on the magical gun in his waistband. Something big was about to happen. Part 3, The Unholy Union Unleashed. The Clown Coliseum throbbed with a dark energy as Kurrupted Guru, the undisputed leader of the clown cult of Corrupted. Clown raised the pulsating obsidian shard high above his head. The air crackled with raw power, the combined chanting of hundreds of loyal jokers rising to a fever pitch. M felt a chill creep up his spine. A sense of dread he hadn't experienced since his early days in New Anarchy. This wasn't just another ritual. This felt like a tearing of the fabric of reality itself. The time has come. The Guru roared, his voice now layered with an unearthly echo. His eyes, burning with manic intensity, fixated on the fragment. Through this shard, the unholy union shall be forged. The primordial chaos, banished for centuries, will once again walk among us. Suddenly, the shard pulsed violently, glowing with a malevolent red light. Tendrils of shadow snaked out from it, lashing across the arena. The chants of the cultists intensified, morphing into guttural growls and feverish cries. The ground beneath M's feet began to shake more violently, dust raining down from the crumbling ceiling. Kylie gasped, clutching M's arm, her face pale. Selena, usually fearless, pressed close to M's leg, her eyes wide with a mixture of fear and morbid fascination. A sickening tearing sound filled the Coliseum like ancient stone ripping apart. From the spot where Daguru stood, a vortex of black energy began to form, swirling rapidly. The obsidian shard, now glowing blindingly, rocketed into the center of the vortex. A deafening roar erupted, a sound that seemed to come from the very core of the earth, as the vortex expanded, revealing glimpses of a churning, chaotic dimension within. It's opening a portal. M yelled over the din, pulling Kylie and Selena closer. He drew his magical gun, its familiar weight a small comfort in the face of the encroaching horror. He'd purged demons, but this felt like something far grander, far more dangerous. He knew the stories. The unholy union was not just a demon, but a collection of primordial chaotic entities, sealed away long ago. From the swirling darkness, massive, clawed limbs began to emerge, then grotesque, multifaceted eyes that blinked with ancient malice. The air grew cold, a suffocating weight pressing down on everyone. Daguru, his body contorted, seemed to be merging with the nascent entity, his painted face twisting into a rictus of ecstasy and agony. He was becoming the vessel. Welcome, chaos! Daguru shrieked, his voice no longer his own, but a chorus of monstrous voices. Welcome, unholy union! Old Detroit will be your cradle, and New Anarchy your playground. M knew he had to act, even if it seemed futile. He raised his magical gun, aiming not at the emerging horror, but at the grotesque figure that was once corrupt Daguru. If he could sever the connection, if he could stop the merging, he unleashed a volley of magical orbs, the glowing projectiles streaking through the chaos towards the central figure. What do you think will happen when M's magical? Bullets hit the merging Daguru and the emerging unholy union. Part 4, Sacrifice and Revelation. M's magical orbs streaked through the swirling vortex, impacting corrupt Daguru just as the unholy union's monstrous form began to solidify. Instead of pain or dissolution, a jolt of raw energy surged through Daguru. His contorted features softened, and the manic gleam in his eyes was replaced by a sudden, profound clarity. The chorus of monstrous voices emanating from him fractured, replaced by a single, familiar voice his own, but imbued with immense power. M. No! Daguru roared, his voice echoing with newfound authority, cutting through the chaos. You don't understand. I didn't sacrifice myself to it. I sacrificed myself to contain it. The words hit M with the force of a physical blow. He lowered his gun, utterly bewildered. Kylie and Selena, who had been cowering behind him, looked up equally stunned. The unholy union, previously a churning vortex of limbs and eyes, now seemed to be recoiling, its tendrils shrinking back into Daguru-esque form. He wasn't merging with it, he was absorbing it, taking the full brunt of its chaos within himself. Daguru's body began to glow with an intense, blinding light, the energy of the unholy union struggling against his will. His skin rippled, and cracks of pure light appeared across his painted face, revealing the strain. The ritual. It wasn't to release it fully. It was to bring it into a vessel it couldn't control. He gasped, every word a struggle. I am that vessel. The clown cult. We've been trying to bring these primordial entities down to our plane, to make them vulnerable, to defeat them. The ground beneath them shuddered violently as Daguru staggered, the contained chaos making him tremble like a leaf. These bullets, they don't kill demons, They expel them. But this thing, it's too powerful to expel. It needs to be contained and destroyed from within. His voice was fading, becoming hoarse. My cloning. My existence as kurrupted guru. It was all for this moment. A perfect, unstable host. The loyal jokers in the arena, who had been chanting furiously, now watched in stunned silence, their painted faces, reflecting the horrific, beautiful light emanating from their leader. They had been unwitting pawns in a far grander, more dangerous plan. Daguru, the corrupted clown, was not their evil overlord, but their ultimate sacrifice. With a final agonizing grunt, Daguru extended a trembling hand towards him. Now you must finish it, before it breaks free. He swayed precariously, the unholy union attempting to tear its way out of him. The arena began to crack, the immense pressure threatening to bring the entire Clown Coliseum down. M stared at his clone, the weight of the revelation crushing him. This whole time, he'd seen Daguru as a madman, a villain. Now he understood. This wasn't about power, it was about saving New Anarchy from a far greater threat. His magical gun felt heavier in his hand. He had to make a choice, and quickly. What choice do you think M will make? Part 5, the final act. The revelation hit M like a physical blow, leaving him momentarily paralyzed. Kurrupted Guru, his own clone, the supposed mad cult leader, was not a villain but a desperate hero, sacrificing himself to contain an ancient evil. The unholy union, a primordial force of chaos, pulsed within Daguru, threatening to rip him apart and unleash true devastation upon old Detroit. The Clown Coliseum groaned under the strain, cracks spiderwebbing across the crumbling concrete. Hurry, M. Daguru gasped, his voice now a strained whisper, almost drowned out by the groaning of the structure and the guttural roiling within him. It's tearing me apart. Use the gun. It will purify it. Kylie, her eyes brimming with tears, squeezed M's arm. He's telling the truth, M. He wouldn't lie like this. Selena, her small hand clutching his pant leg, looked up at him with a silent, pleading gaze, and took a ragged breath. The weight of Daguru as sacrifice, the trust in his eyes, solidified his resolve. This wasn't just about $300 or a street skirmish anymore. This was about saving their chaotic, beloved New Anarchy. He raised his magical gun, aiming directly at the chest of his dying clone, who now shimmered with an unbearable, contained light. The loyal jokers, hushed and terrified, watched in silent horror and awe. Loyal joker for life, Daguru. M yelled, a rock cry that echoed through the arena. With a grim determination, M pulled the trigger. Not 5 shots, not 3, but a continuous stream of glowing, purifying orbs erupted from the barrel, slamming into Daguru. Each impact sent a shockwave through the Clown Coliseum, making the very foundations tremble. Daguru's eyes locked with M's, a flicker of gratitude passing through them as the light within him intensified, becoming a blinding, pure white. The roiling chaos of the unholy union let out a final, agonizing shriek, a sound that seemed to tear through the dimensions. The shriek reached a crescendo, then abruptly ceased. The blinding light from Daguru's body pulsed once, violently, and then imploded, the Clown Coliseum shook one last time, sending down a shower of dust and debris before settling into an eerie silence. Where Kurrupted Guru had stood, there was now nothing but a faint scorch mark on the makeshift stage, broken only by the ragged breathing of them. The loyal jokers stood stunned, their faces streaked with paint and tears, finally understanding the true, tragic purpose of their leader. M stood there, his arm still raised, the magical gun now cool in his hand. He looked at Kylie, then down at Selena, both of whom were staring at the empty stage. The unholy union was gone. The clown cult of Kurrupted Clown was without its leader, its purpose fulfilled in the most devastating way. New Anarchy was safe for now, but the cost was their own. That concludes this part of the story. I hope you found it a fitting end. Part 1, Skinny's Fury. The searing pain in Skinny's chest relentlessly reminded him of M's betrayal. 5 magical orbs had ripped through him, leaving him writhing on his porch. $300, bro. Loyal Joker for life. M's words still mocked him. Loyal Joker. Skinny scoffed, a bitter cough escaping. He lay sprawled on his couch, pushing away the hovering women. He needed to process the white-hot rage replacing the pain. Get out! He snarled. They retreated, leaving him alone. He dragged himself towards the mirror, every movement agonizing. His reflection, a gaunt, furious clone of Justin Bieber. No marks, but immense internal devastation. That demon, purged, had been a nuisance, but the public humiliation. That was worse. M, his homie, used magical bullets that didn't kill, just made him suffer. The condescension fueled his fury. He slammed his fist against the wall. This wasn't over. Not in New Anarchy. Not in his Detroit. Loyal Joker for life. Skinny would show him what loyalty meant when broken. He had to get his $300 back, but more importantly, his respect. M had something valuable Skinny wanted, something that would hurt more than money. He'd bide his time, nurse his wounds, and plan his vengeance. Part 2, Civil War in Old Detroit. Skinny's email disruption was a triumph. Chaos rippled through New Anarchy, but satisfaction was short-lived. An untraceable message from M cut through, a challenge. Not a meeting, but a full-blown street war, a loyal Joker civil war. Skinny's blood ran cold, then hot. This wasn't his plan, but he couldn't refuse. His crew disgruntled clones and disillusioned loyal Jokers were primed. The family was broken. The first salvo. The first skirmish erupted 3 nights later in an industrial sector. Skinny leading his 15 men in harsh. Modified clown masks moved like ghosts, energy rifle ready. Suddenly, glowing emerald orbs slammed into a wall. And signature. There, top of the warehouse. Skinny barked. M, identifiable by his Kurrupted Guru clone features, stood silhouetted, his Glock shimmering. Loyal Joker for life, Skinny. Only one of us truly lives it. M's voice boomed. You want a war, M? You got one. Skinny roared back, firing. His rifle spat crackling bolts, forcing M's squad to duck. M's loyal Jokers returned fire. Lasers crisscrossed with arcane blasts. Skinny ducked behind barrels as orbs exploded. One of his men dropped, screaming in agony M's cruel torture. Skinny's blood boiled. This wasn't just about $300. It was about supremacy. The final showdown. The factory floor became a chaotic battleground. Skinny's crew used hit-and-run tactics, impressed with overwhelming magical force. Explosions rocked the factory. Skinny spotted M advancing. Loyal Joker civil war. Hey, M? Skinny yelled, firing. You thought you could embarrass me. Not how anarchy works. M reappeared, his Glock spitting emerald energy. Skinny dodged. You destabilized our family. This isn't anarchy, it's madness. The clown cult is for order. Order? Being a puppet for corrupt Daguru-esque delusions. Skinny scoffed. There's only one ruler in my Detroit. Distant, earth-shaking tremors began. A low, guttural roar echoed across the city, the unholy union, reverberating from the Clown Coliseum. It reminded both of a larger, shared threat. Their civil war distracted them. Skinny hesitated, eyes on the distant roar. His vendetta seemed small, and too paused. The primordial echo was deafening. With a final glare at M, Skinny spun. This isn't over, M, he snarled. He barked orders. Fall back. Now. The game's changed. His crew disengaged. Skinny vanished, leaving M in the smoking ruins. The loyal Joker civil war had truly begun. But the unholy union forced a grim, uneasy truce, reminding them some threats transcended personal vendettas.